as long as you've been doing this thing, what types of real estate investing transactions have you been a part of? And which ones have made you the most money?
I do own 2 commercial buildings. One I'm getting beat down on, so definitely not going to say I'm a commercial real estate expert. I have a rental portfolio. I built houses, fix and flip, do the room rental. The thing that makes me the most money, wholesaling. I don't think I'm going to ever stop wholesaling, to be real with you.
Really?
I don't think I'm ever stop. No.
That's a high-paying job, though, Nasar.
It's a very high-paying job.
Isn't the point to get away from the labor? Get away from the manual work?
Yeah, like I just don't know any other thing where I can create 20, 30K, 40K out of thin air.
Thin air. Just pushing papers.
Just pushing papers.
Yeah. I know over the years that people have got into teaching how to build this wholesaling business, like putting 10 and 15 people in an office cold calling, because you can make $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 a month.
Right.
Is that your business model today?
I always was keep it lean type of guy.
Yeah.
You know, don't just go out there and just build a bunch of expenses. That's always been my motto.
Welcome to another episode of the Coliving Investing Podcast. I am your host, Ashley Jeffers, and I am super excited for this episode this evening. I have my friend, Nasar El-Arabi, on the show. Welcome to the show, Nas.
What's going on?
Yeah, man. It's been a long time coming because Nasar is, I'm sure, someone that you recognize from these internet streets for a very long time. He has been on YouTube and on social media teaching others, giving freely knowledge on how to invest in real estate. So this is going to be a special interview for me because I've learned so much from him. And I've had the privilege and the honor of making money with him, too. So we're going to hop right in, Nas. So I know the origin story. I know most of my audience recognizes you and knows the origin story. So we're not going to start there like other interviews. Where we're going to start is what real estate investing has done for you. Because this is what I know about you. You are not a flashy guy. You never got into getting on the internet and driving the Lambo or the Ferrari or driving the flashy cars, flashing the Rolex watches and all this kind of stuff. You're just not that type of guy. So I gotta know, if you're not buying watches and fancy cars and buying the PJ and flying all over the world, what has real estate investing done for you financially where you're like, I'm able to do these things? Without real estate investing, I would not be able to afford this type of lifestyle. So where does Nas spend his money most of the time?
All right, so before I get into that, right, I just want to say that I learned a lot from you. When I got the room rental stuff, that you really helped me out. Like, you literally mentored me into, doing that and doing in that space. But let me say this, as far as your question, and thank you for having me on, but your question, I mean, I've been able to do some things that the average person can't fathom.
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
So, and even though I tell people, like, even though business has been rough the last 2 years because of ups and downs, in any entrepreneurship, right? Any entrepreneurship, ups and downs. But man, listen, I'm so happy to be in this business. I'm blessed to be in this business because there's just so much that this has done for me. So, for example, I've been able to take my father to the Super Bowl. All right. So that, I meant a lot. That I really wanted to do that because back in the late 1900s, my father used to take me. I grew up in Jersey, so being I grew up in Jersey, we had the New Jersey Nets. The reason why I go so hard for the Hornets is because the Nets moved to Brooklyn, so Brooklyn can have them. If the Yankees or the Mets moved to Jersey, they would stop cheering for them. So with that being said, I'm a Hornets fan now, but just going to the next game. We used to go to the next game. I seen the greats. Of course, when Michael Jordan came to town, the tickets used to be so expensive. So we got to see him once. We had to say hi in the nosebleeds. I got to see the infamous Dallas Cowboys at the Giants Stadium back in the day. So I had wanted to do something for him. So I took him to the Super Bowl. which is probably one of the bigger accomplishments. But other than that, I've been able to create life on my terms, been able to travel the world to places that I desire.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people whereas I want to do X amount of country per aid. I want to go to places I want to go to.
When you want to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So, and also, I'm one of those people, I couldn't keep a job. And so I'm just one of those people where I gotta, work for myself. I could take direction. I was coachable in my 20s though. I was a little rough. I was all the way rough around the edges. So I didn't get the concept. I'm glad I didn't get the concept. So I just made it happen. And I've been able to, have a good, my 30s were great. I'm looking forward to have my 40s being great. So,
so you have been able to create the lifestyle you want from real estate investing.
Absolutely.
And that is something that I want to make sure that we pull out, we emphasize that it did not happen overnight. It took a lot of work, but where you're at today is far better than where you would have been had you stayed in corporate America. Is that a true statement?
If I was in corporate America, I probably wouldn't have a 7-figure net worth. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't have no 7-figure net worth.
Wouldn't have one.
I probably wouldn't have a retirement account that's worth well over, $500,000. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, you ain't got to keep putting all your business out there.
I'm sorry.
No, you good.
I wouldn't have these things with a job. So,
yeah.
The most important thing about the real estate investing was the education.
Yeah.
So now that I have the education, I can properly make the right choices that led to some results that I'm pleased with today.
Yeah.
So,
So back in I remember back in 2020, between 2020 and 2022, it was up. Everybody was on the internet teaching real estate investing. And fast forward to today, you don't see those same people that had a course, that had a mentorship, that had all of these things going on. It's where did those people go? Right. So it's kind of not questioning where they're at, what they did, what was true, what was not true. And when you saw different people talking about their lifestyle and the cars and the houses, but they're not on the net anymore. So I'm gonna assume that just maybe, that they weren't able to prolong their success in this business. You've been in this game a long time. How have you been able to maintain and stay in this game as long as you have been able to?
Just keep it basic. Listen, the basic book that you read, the basic things you read in the financial literacy book, the things about a lot of successful people, you live beneath your means. That COVID,
talk about that.
That COVID entrepreneur, what they did was the few that actually did make money outside of doing the wrong thing with the PPP. The few that actually did make some money, what they did was, they went out, they made $100K, $150K, $200K. Brand deals were of abundance at that time. People getting brand deals. TikTok was paying well, all that. But what they did was they went to go get the high rise with the view in the back.
Yeah, they did.
Everybody went to go get the high rise with the view in the back. They went to go get this expensive car note, right?
Yeah.
Then they had to get these expensive clothes. When you do that and present yourself mentally, you're telling yourself, I got to keep up with this image.
Yeah.
You keep up with this image. And what happens is in business, you're going to have a bad month. You're going to have a bad 2 months. You might have a bad year. These things happen. But when it happened to them, the house of cards collapsed because you had all these bills and you could no longer maintain it. So it's all right, let me get back this car. I can't do this no more. The way I was teaching real estate, et cetera, is not working right now. I got to give everything back. So it just, people were making great money, but they were spending great money. So what I mean by that, they were an asset to the high-rise owner. They were an asset to BMW, but liability to themselves.
Wow. Yeah, that's deep because, it is so easy to, they call it lifestyle creep.
Absolutely.
It is so easy to get into a situation where you make all of this money and now it's you eating out more and you not just eating out at, Olive Garden. You going to the 5-star restaurants. You're going to the 5-star hotels. You're living up to every last dollar in your bank account when you can't do that. And I think, a lot of that just comes from lack of education when it comes to being financially sound in business. Like a lot of people, they don't get that like, where do you get that education from? Unless that was taught to you by your parents or your grandparents, people close to you that were in business. Unless you have that type of support system around you, you don't know that you can't spend every dollar that you make. You got to understand that, first of all, Uncle Sam come to get his cut. Let's understand that. You have to understand that some money has to go back into the business. Not to say that you can't enjoy the money that you make, but there has to be an understanding that you have to segment the money you make and put it into certain buckets so you can maintain your business.
Nah, that's real. Now, I'm going to say about my situation, because I like to highlight them when I can.
Mm-hmm.
Even though my parents were both born during Jim Crow. Mm-hmm. When I say that to the people that don't understand this, right? Just put this in perspective. One of the people I called up calling grandpa, right? He took my father in, and I grew up calling him grandpa. He buried Malcolm X, right? Mm-hmm. So my parents surrounded us. My mother, when Martin Luther King would march, all right, she would go out there and march as well, right? Wow. So this is one generation up. My parents, they got rights during their lifetime. You know what I'm saying? During their lifetime, all right? So when 1968 happened, my father was 18. He got his rights when 1968. So Black people, we got our first set of rights in 64. Malcolm passed in 65. 68, MLK was assassinated. We burnt this thing down. They gave us some more civil rights in reference to we can buy properties and things of that nature if you can afford it. Yeah. The reason why they put that if you can afford it is because prior to that, our counterparts were given things, all right, that they couldn't afford. Mm-hmm. But my parents were married, and unlike other in my neighborhood, and because we grew up, in North Jersey, you could be middle class and still be in the hood. So that was my situation. New York City, the same thing. You could be middle class, but you still in the hood. Yeah. So that was our situation. But my parents, they taught me how to save. My mother was a teacher. Mm-hmm. Hey, listen, I know you A&T to the core, but she was Central.
I am.
Right, you Aggie, but she was a Central. She's an Eagle.
Okay, still HBCU love. Okay, shout out to your mom. No, it's okay. It's okay.
But so I say that to say this, that she did me. They taught me savings. Like they taught me that. Like she believed education started at home. So I had a savings account since grade school, and I always was good with saving. Yeah. So that helped me out a lot in life. That to save money and live beneath your means. Mm-hmm. When I read in the books, I pretty much just confirmed it. The other thing, once you start living this lifestyle, you got to keep up with it. I did that in high school, in my early 20s.
Oh, so you got that out your system.
I got it out my system, and I went broke doing it multiple times. And nah, bro, you impressing all you doing is impressing everybody else. Right. But your bank account is the one, you the one paying for it, but you impressing everybody else. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, nah, I figured out in my 20s, nah, that ain't worth it. Fortunately, I got out of that environment. In 24, I moved down here in 2008, and I didn't know anybody, so I didn't have anybody down here to impress.
That helped.
That helped a lot. It helped a lot. I had nobody to impress. I had no image to uphold. Yeah. I could be anybody I want. And so what I did was I had shut the F up and got my life together.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I know we're talking about we're teetering on financial literacy away from real estate investing, but it was important for me to bring this topic out because you do such an excellent job of being on this internet and being genuine and being your true self, and not someone who is trying to do it for the gram as far as, the expensive clothes. Like I don't think I've ever seen you in Gucci, Fendi, or Prada. That doesn't mean that you don't have money. It's a lot of us that think if we don't wear those brand names, then it's a sign that we don't have money.
Yo, I swear, bro. And it's got to the point. It still can work for some people. It still works for some people. I see that. But it's got to the point. I've talked to a lot of different social media agencies and coaches, people, and even ad guys. They was like, yo, those ads where you show things, you don't attract the right crowd. And they won't, because they don't have any money. Because a lot of that stuff attracts people with no money and impresses people that don't have any money.
Yeah.
So, and we social media is getting a little bit better, whereas, they're getting tired of it. It doesn't work as like it once did. They are getting tired of it.
Yeah.
It's getting burnt in the ground, but you still got people who do it. I just wish, besides that foolishness, social media just let go the 50-50 conversation. Who eat first?
The 50-50.
Who eat first? And all men cheat and all women cheat and women ain't no good. I just wish they let that go. But yeah, that once you start to get caught up in that, you're gonna put yourself in a mental battle. Because once you get the car, once you get the high rise, you got to keep up with this stuff.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing I tell young folks I don't like about the high rise. Because you're paying anywhere between $3,000 and $20,000, depending on what his high rise is. It was this one big influencer. He was paying $17,000 a month, or multiple of them paying $17K a month. But then when that economy turned,
that's crazy.
Yeah, of course, we all know what happened then.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So, but even let's take $3,000 a month. That's $36K a year, bro. Buy a house, bro.
Buy a house.
You own it. You build an equity. You have something. I get everybody saying the same thing of, oh, well, I don't want to maintain no lawn or do this or do that and do that. No. You're going to have to sacrifice with doing something you don't want to do because this will pay off. It 100%. Will pay off owning.
Yeah.
Rather than you $36,000, you was there for 3 years and now you just walking away from all that money. I don't think that's a good financial decision.
Agree. And unfortunately, there are some big influencers on the internet that are encouraging people not to get into home ownership.
Yeah.
Like literally calling it a scam.
Yeah.
And that is the craziest thing because of what your parents' went through, what they stood for, what Black people in this country were fighting for was ownership. So to turn around and fast forward to our generation for influencers on the internet to say that home ownership is a scam, it's disappointing. And it's sad because you're cheating people out of legacy. You're cheating people out of equity when they believe that, even though everyone is is an adult and has a responsibility to do their own research, but they call it an influencer for a reason. Yeah. Like when you are at a certain, a threshold of the number of people that follow you on this internet, you have a high responsibility. And I think people are misusing their platform when they teach people or encourage people to just continue to rent. Now, I know that there are preferences. I know that people have different lifestyles, but to call home ownership a scam when that is a way out for some families when it comes to building longevity in wealth and passing a portfolio from one generation to the next, you can't do that with your high rise. Like you can't give that to your kid, your grandkid. And all you're doing with your high rise apartment is making the landlord richer.
That's all.
Because he's into ownership, even if you're not. Yeah. So that's a wild dynamic. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about real estate investing. I want to, it's real estate investing type podcast. So we should, chat a little bit about that. So let the people know, as long as you've been doing this thing, what types of real estate investing transactions have you been a part of, and which ones have made you the most money? So we're talking, your traditional buy and hold, fix and flip, new builds, whatever the case may be. Like, what have you done over your career, and which one of those transaction types has made you the most money? All
right. So over the time I built houses, I do own 2 commercial buildings. One I'm getting beat down on, so I'm definitely not gonna say I'm a commercial real estate expert, but I have a rental portfolio. I built houses, fix and flip, rental, do the room rental. The thing that makes me the most money wholesaling. I don't think I'm gonna ever stop wholesaling. To be real with you.
Really?
I don't think I'm ever stop. No.
That's a high-paying job, though,
It's a
Nasser.
very high paying job.
Isn't the point to get away from the labor?
That
Get away from the manual work?
Yeah, like this, like I just don't know any other thing where I can create 20, 30K, 40K out of thin air.
Thin air. Just pushing papers.
Just pushing papers.
Yeah. I know over the years that people have got into teaching how to build this wholesaling business, like putting 10 and 15 people in an office cold calling, and they have their own cubicles and responsible for making X number of calls a day. And there's a board where we're keeping track of how many contracts we get that day. And it's this whole, it was this whole push for building out this wholesaling business because you can make $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 a month.
Right.
Is that your business model today? Do you have all these people working for you and all these VAs and this kind of stuff?
I let my team go a few years back, but no, I don't have anything like that today. I don't have anything like that. I never had an office. We always just work from home. When I did have a team, but
you let your team go.
Yeah, years ago.
So who is it? Who's working for you now?
Me and some virtual assistants.
That's it.
That's it. I'm keeping it lean and short.
Okay.
Whatever, right?
Okay.
So I always knew not to do that with that big overhead because of it's a big overhead, and eventually things change, things happen.
Yeah.
And I know some guys who I'd never been in a situation where I couldn't make payroll, fortunately. I've never been in a situation whereas I couldn't pay a mortgage that on one of my properties. And I mean, as you probably know, your hard money lenders and all that.
Yeah.
Fortunately.
Yeah.
If I got to lose on the property, I lose. They still win.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, I always was keep it lean type of guy.
Yeah.
Don't just go out there and just build a bunch of expenses. That's always been my motto.
Yeah. People don't think about the profit margins. Like, you might make $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 a month, and that's great. But how much did you have to pay each one of those cold callers? The ones in your office here and the ones in the offices overseas, because people love to have like a balance between the VAs out of the Philippines, and then they got these acquisition managers and disposition managers and all these things, and it's like those people get paid first. Your office rent, it gets paid first. Like, you get paid last. So
I know guys I met when I was in the high level mastermind. I met guys, they improved their stuff. They was in the mastermind, they improved their stuff, but they'll make $1.2 million, but $100K would be profit.
$1.2 million for the year.
But $100K is profit.
That's
yes.
it.
That's it. Out of that, 1.200K because they expenses and overheads. Now, being this mastermind, of course, they start to cut back, and get more leaner. And then that, 1.2 turned into, 500,000 to, 600,000 or whatever. Once they get off that, once they get to 50% profit off of deals, it starts to improve. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, people went out and built that stuff, man. And I'm glad I did.
Yeah. So bringing out the examples of, real estate investors that go and build these large wholesaling businesses is that you don't have to go that far.
No.
I know the buzzword was, or the buzz phrase was scaling.
Scale.
This is how you scale your wholesaling business.
I swear, people would ain't even do a deal. Hey, I'm trying to scale,
I'm go ahead and scale. Day one. Let me go hire these two VAs, one for acquisitions and one for dispositions.
I had to tell my students, whoa, don't wait.
Hold on.
Wait. Let's do a deal first. Let's do another deal. Let's put up $20,000, $30,000 before you start to bring all these people in.
Yeah. Yeah. So bringing that out because we're talking to somebody here. I'm talking to some people that admire you, that have seen you over the years and understand what you have brought to this table when it comes to real estate investing education. And I want them to know that Nas is successful. Nas a multimillionaire, and he doesn't have a office full of staff doing wholesale deals. It's him and a couple VAs out of the Philippines,
right? And
he's keeping it lean to this day. So I think that is a lesson for all of us to try to to know you're looking at these videos and you see success of these investors that say they built these large real estate investing firms. It's nice. It's a nice story that they're telling, and they have knowledge to share. But at the end of the day, you have to do what's right for you. And you have to understand that there are expenses that goes with these large businesses. And the best thing that you can do is to keep it lean. Like, who'd have thought this guy's still on the phone? Like, do you still talk to sellers?
I still, to this, like, I went back to do some acquisitions myself. So I said, I'm doing acquisitions right now.
Yeah.
Just grabbing sellers up and making deals happen.
That's crazy sounding, right? But he knows what makes money. And he has done the testing. And that's what business is about. Like, you're going to learn over time that you're going to test having the big business, and then you're going to test having the lean business. And then you'll see for yourself where those profit margins are, and you'll decide what's best for your business model. But consistently, I've heard from this guy to keep it lean and live below your means. So
Very important.
Yeah.
Very important.
So at what point in the journey did you decide to start to, explore room rental investing?
So for those who don't know, I got a YouTube channel, and from my YouTube channel, I would interview. We all know the infamous Jay Parker. I did an interview with him. I did an interview with Isaac, good friend of mine, Isaac Long, and all. I'm like, this makes too much sense. And then you got into it, and then eventually I got my house, and I called you, and you basically just mentored me to get the whole thing. The reason why I got into it because these people were making anywhere between $4,000 and $6,000, $7,000 a month on one property a month.
Yeah.
So I'm like, whoa. I can do this.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I can do this. Yeah, like this is better than Airbnb because I don't have all the turnover.
100%. Do you still have your Airbnb?
I still have it. Yes, I still have it. It's still running strong. Reason why mine is still running strong is because I go after that Walmart crowd, and it's only $70 to $90 a night.
Walmart crowd. I was about to ask, what does that mean? Okay.
Yeah, I'm going after
bucks.
that value. People looking for value. I'm not going after, I'm not the $400, $300. I'm not the guy that matches the hotel rates or costs more than the motel. If that makes sense.
It does make sense. It does make sense. And there are different target audiences, and so there's nothing wrong with the Walmart audience. They need to, rent Airbnbs periodically as well. So what's your main focus these days? Are you focused on continuing to build a room rental portfolio, or are you like, if the deal makes sense, if the property makes sense, I'll go that route, but you're focused on other things like new builds?
Right now, I'm in this place where I'm all money in right now.
Okay.
So I just want to build houses and wholesale. If there's a rental property that makes sense, I'm going to do that. But that's my focus on those two right now.
Build houses and wholesale. I didn't hear fix and flip nowhere in that.
Hell no. Golly.
Can you please tell the people why you are not into the fix and flip scene at this time?
Too many variables, man. Just too many variables. We're in the buyer's market. Buyers had the upper hand. That work better be top tier, or you will be sitting on the market. But it's just too many variables. You could go into a property, think, you're going to put 60,000. Next thing you know, you at 90. For those who are not in this, that's you probably not familiar with this, but how the 60 get to 90 is because you open up a wall. You see that wood rotted out, or you might go in the house, under the house.
Crawl space.
Oh my God.
My goodness.
20, 30K right there.
Right there. Yep.
Right there. Oh, you'd be like, what in the world? And it's all termite damage and rotted. I said, nah, bro, this can't be.
Contractors you can't control. Yeah. Contractors that run off with your money. You have no control over when, inspections will be completed, when permits will be obtained. It's rough. It's a rough business. So shout out to those who that's their mainstay is fix and flips, and they're able to maintain their lifestyle just from that type of real estate.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, Nasar, thank you for being here. This is exactly how I envision this interview going. It's less about real estate and more about the man, because you're such a genuine, humble, just a good guy in this business. And that is hard to find on today's internet. So I really wanted people to understand, what you do, why you do what you do, as far as like how you look at business, how you look at finances in the world. So thank you for being here. Listen, Nas got a YouTube channel. We're going to put his link into the show notes. Anything that you selling right now? You got a course? You got a mentorship?
Yeah, I got a course.
Something?
I got a mentorship. But
Okay.
right now, this is what I want you to do.
Okay.
I just want you guys to go to just Real Estate Guru on all social media platforms. Just follow me and listen to my free information. If you like it, good. If not, understand. But just go up there. My most active ones are Facebook, IG and Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Very active on there. Real Estate Guru. So just follow me, please.
Yeah, we'll put all of his social media profile links into the show notes as well. So yeah, go follow this guy. Wealth of knowledge, good guy. So no better way to end this episode. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode. Peace.